to help us unpack a little bit more of the outcome of the special sitting. We're now joined by our Parliamentary reporter, Abra Barbier. Abra, thanks so much for joining us. Always good to talk to you. It's been quite a week, and today another chapter. Tell us what happened in this special programme committee.
Peter, good evening to you as well. Just when we thought tomorrow would be the end of our woes at Parliament, another span has been thrown into the works. You know, the story has so many moving parts. It's so fluid. It's just updating hourly. So the latest now is that tomorrow's sitting of the National Assembly, which was meant to be the final sitting for the year, that is still happening. However, the item that everyone was waiting for, and that of course is the vote on the Section 89 panel report, that item has been postponed to the 13th of December, which is next Tuesday. Now, this proposal was made in the National Assembly Programming Committee meeting, which sat at 9 tonight. That in itself is an extraordinary incident, because the NAPC, the Programming Committee, usually sits at 8:30 on a Thursday morning. So I don't recall ever being in a National Assembly Programming Committee at this hour. So that special meeting was called just to sort out some logistics. Of course, there were some questions up in the air, things that weren't clear to specific parties. And one of the issues that came up today was the issue of manual voting and having all the members at the actual sitting to vote on this issue. And of course, not all the members are in Cape Town at the moment. So to accommodate everybody being there, it was agreed that this item would move to the 13th. As I said earlier on, it was a proposal made by the ANC's Doris Lakude, and this was supported by the other parties. What the Secretary to the National Assembly, Mr. Masibulele Kaso, did say is that, yes, it will be all systems go pending the securing of a venue. So Parliament, he said, actually, they're going to start as of tonight to start scouring for a venue. So they need to find a venue which will accommodate all 400 members of the National Assembly, and also it must be a venue which would allow them to vote accordingly with the electronic voting system. So that is what happened in a nutshell. The meeting kicked off with the speaker actually saying that while she had made certain decisions regarding the sitting, she was open to further suggestions and she was open to reconsider certain decisions that she had made. The one decision that she did make, which remains the same, is that it will not be a secret ballot. The ATM called for the vote to be done by a secret ballot, but things are not going to change on that front. Peter?
All right. I mean, as they're planning all of this, there is an application at the Constitutional Court. And one of the items there is to stop this sitting. I wonder if this is something that they're cognizant of, or they're going ahead regardless.
Peter, I actually wrote that down because there was a lot of legalese involved. Let me just, okay, here we go. That was the DA who queried this exact question about whether everything will go ahead in spite of that Concord application by the president. And according to the legal advisor at Parliament, the sub judice issue obviously came up. But what she said is that, the sub judice rule, while it needs to be taken into consideration, at this point, it is not strong enough to, it doesn't outweigh the work that Parliament needs to do. So Parliament needs to go ahead. The ANC did actually ask for that discussion to be shut down because there were various inputs being made by political parties, especially the EFF. The EFF made it very, very clear it would be a travesty of justice, I think was the exact term used by one of the EFF MPs. It would be a travesty of justice for Parliament to be held back by this court application, saying that it basically flies in the face of Parliament's ability to hold the executive, that being Cyril Ramaphosa in this case, to account. So the Speaker, even after what the legal advisor had said and suggested. And she also gave a very, very brief response, because she said there's a much longer response that she needs to provide Parliament with, but there wasn't enough time tonight, so she was going to do that in writing. And even though she said the sub judice rule can't hold Parliament back from doing its job, the Speaker said that she was going to take further advice from the legal team and find out, because look, the Speaker is, I think, the fourth, is cited in the court papers as well. So she will also need to be advised on this. And the ANC shut down further questions from opposition parties on this issue, saying that everyone needs to wait until the Speaker has been given the correct advice from the legal advisors.
All right. So have you been able to ascertain how resolved the opposition parties are? Are they all together? We know that the Good Party is one party that's not really going along with the actions so far. But are the rest of them pretty resolved and on the same page? We heard earlier today the president of the commander-in-chief of the EFF suggesting that the DA is a question mark.
Look, these are all things we were going to put, these are all the questions that I was going to put to the political parties tomorrow ahead of the sitting, because I was going to be speaking to them about their stance. I am still going to be speaking to them tomorrow at 9 o'clock, but obviously the focus of my interviews will change a little bit. But yes, you are quite right. I did specifically ask the Good Party to be there tomorrow morning, because I wanted to find out from them why they weren't part of this forum of opposition party, why they weren't part of that decision, as well as Al Jamar. I will still put that question to them tomorrow. And as for the DA and the other parties, yes, we are going to still find out from them tomorrow. You know what their stance is going forward. The DA has made it clear that it still wants to I think is it a motion of no confidence? I'm not sure, but they still want to take further action beyond the possibility of the Section 89 committee being activated. Obviously, that would be determined by which way the vote goes next week. Peter?
All right, so tomorrow, essentially a normal parliamentary day. It'll feel like the last session, but there will be this shadow, this cloud of there's still one more day.
I wouldn't say a normal parliamentary day. We still have the SABC, the new board members. That report will be adopted in the House, is expected to be adopted in the House, so there's that happening. And then there are a few other items on the agenda. We also have the farewell speeches, which is, you know, sweet and cute story to normally cover. And one of the MPs, I think it was the FF Plus, they actually asked if that would still be on the agenda. The Speaker made it clear everything remains the same except the item relating to Section 89. Only that will be moved to next week. And in fact, the issue of the electoral amendment bill, which is still in the pipeline in Parliament, I forget exactly which party it was who raised this, but they said that mustn't even creep in next week. Next week's sitting is solely to deal with Section 89. All right, so it won't be a normal day. It will still be a long and busy day, but it won't be as busy as what we had initially anticipated. Peter?
We sometimes forget that there's so much more that goes on in Parliament other than the stories that are trending on social media. Abra, we'll leave it there. Thanks so much. Go and get some rest. I know another long day for you tomorrow. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Peter.
All right. That's senior reporter Abra Barbier speaking to us from Parliament in Cape Town ahead of tomorrow's sitting. And it's going to go ahead, but without that special agenda item, the Section 89 panel report debate. That's been moved to next week, Tuesday, the 13th.